Well, Manhattan is certainly used to spectacles, but what happens tomorrow will have history tied to it. The first president arraigned on criminal charges. But is this a case of cherry-picking politics or legitimate legal practice? Joining us this morning with analysis are two attorneys with political backgrounds, former state representative Paul DeMarco and former Alabama Democratic chair for the Bill Clinton re-election campaign in the 90s, John Saxon. Counselors, good to have you with us this morning.
Good morning.
So let's talk about this. Let's take the circus atmosphere out of this, what it's going to be like tomorrow. In terms of just the court process, what should we expect, John?
Well, first, none of us have seen the indictment, and so this conversation could be very different in a day or two. We have to assume President Trump, whatever you think about him, has the presumption of innocence, but this is clearly uncharted territory. I don't think there will be a perp walk. We're not going to see him in handcuffs, but it's going to be significant. And the most important thing I think it does is it frees up the other prosecutors to perhaps seek indictments in Georgia and in D.C. It is clearly,
which would be more serious cases, would they not?
I think so. It'll seriously have implications for the 2024 election. But then the other thing to keep in mind is no one's above the law.
Paul, do you expect would there be a bond set like normal? Would it be low?
Well, he'll be released on his own recognizance, so there's not going to be any bond. He'll be back home by tomorrow night, and he's got a statement he's going to make anyway. So no, there won't be anything of that nature.
Well, as John mentioned, we've been saying for several days now, we don't know the exact charges. It's been reported that most will be misdemeanors with one potential federal charge. But what jail time, if any, could the 45th president actually face? And if not any, what's the point?
Well, what my understanding is he could face up to 4 years in prison. I doubt that would happen. There are all kind of other options for someone in this kind of a circumstance. But we don't know what those other charges are, and we do know that the CFO of the Trump organization has been found guilty of serious violations, and some of those may be in that indictment, dealing with financial records of the Trump organization.
Paul, if this is connected to potential election fraud, is that a very high bar for the burden of proof for the prosecutor?
Look, this is a political prosecution. The Federal Election Commission didn't prosecute this case. The U.S. Attorney's Office didn't prosecute this case. My friend said no man is above the law. This prosecutor won't go after felons. He's got a terrible prosecution rate. This is all about politics. Whether you like Donald Trump or a Republican or not, we can all see that this is all about a political prosecution, about allegations that happened 7 years ago that others refused to prosecute, and now the year before the election, they're coming after Donald Trump.
Other political pundits, they will argue this will only embolden, expand supporters for the Trump campaign. Others believe it will lead to GOP supporters who maybe might want to choose to move on to another candidate. How do you think this will play out among the voters?
Well, again, politics is day to day, but everyone that I have talked to you don't have to be a Republican to see that this is a political prosecution. So yes, this has brought everyone out in support of the president, because this could not just be the president. This could be you if you start seeing political prosecutions. This has greatly damaged our judicial system that should be blind and shouldn't be based on politics. This district attorney campaigned on going after Donald Trump. You should go campaign on after breaking the law, not an individual.
John, I know you argue differently, but do you think that some of this is political leanings?
We don't know. I do know this. Trump claims he's already raised $4 million in the first 24 hours after the indictment was announced. He will use this for political gain. But as of yesterday, we saw Asa Hutchinson, former congressman and governor of Arkansas, saying Trump should get out of the race. It is going to have implications, and if enough people start saying Trump is damaged goods, he will not get the nomination.
Those are the opinions of Paul DeMarco, John Saxon. We do appreciate it, gentlemen. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. We're going to come right back with another check on weather and traffic. A lot happening today. Stick around.